What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast, a video game show. I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno to you as well. How are you on this hot as
It's
hell
hot.
day?
I mean, to be fair, it is very hot today. It was very hot yesterday. Yes. And for those of you that don't live in Texas, we're talking like 105 and up.
It's like I saw 108 in the car earlier.
I was at 113. When I left San Antonio, it was 113. And then even like on the way, it was like steady 111 was the best.
Like, that's not like you were parked out in the sun hot. It was just like...
I was parked in the sun, but that was even with like my reflectors because I've got one of those pop-out reflectors. Oof. Rough stuff.
It's rough out here.
It is rough out here.
Rough out here.
But I don't know if you recall, I feel like it's already August and we are both substantially less, or at least I think we are both substantially less seasonally depressed.
Oh, than last year?
Last year
was
would not
the
stop.
fucking worst.
I mean, we've only, air quotes, only had maybe a week and a half of over 100 right now.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to get back down into the 90s as of like this weekend.
Like this week has been so bad. I don't understand how we lived through last summer.
I don't know how we did it either.
It was, and like, it was definitely the thing, like, after the summer was over, we sat there and we're like, oh, yes, we were massively
super depressed.
Because
we couldn't leave our houses. You couldn't do anything.
And this week is like a fresh reminder of it, and it's terrible.
It's like, horrible. Yes, this is what the olden days were like.
Yeah, it's not great. It is not great.
So, I mean, I am just praying to all of the available gods that once we get back down into the 90s, all I'm asking is that we keep it under 101.
Yeah, and hopefully this isn't like a fake fall. Yeah. It's actually the start of the temperatures going down.
Or even just stabilizing.
Can we invent a new god?
I'll take a nice stable 98. That'd be fine.
With like a 72 morning, I'd take that.
That'd be super.
Who knows though? But you know what is a great way
to stay indoors?
Beat the heat? Stay indoors and watch a 2-hour-long game showcase, which is what we did yesterday or 2 days ago, I guess. No, it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was just yesterday.
By the time of this recording, where we watched the opening night live ceremony of gamescom 2024, which is still going on currently in Cologne, Germany. So we're going to be talking about that, recapping some of our favorite reveals or new information that we got on some games we already knew about. But before we do that, how do you find this show? Well, you found it once. How do you keep finding this show? Well, you do that. You can listen to us on podcast services around the World Wide Web, as well as watch a video version of each episode on our YouTube channel. Links for all that are in the description below. Find us on social media at Facebook, Threads, and Instagram. You can also join our Discord server where we have a lot of great conversation when we're not here recording the show. And finally, you can head over to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, where it's just for as little as $1 a month. You can support the show, and in return, we'll give you cool perks like getting the episodes early before their general Thursday release and access to a private channel on our Discord server, the Rogues Gallery, as well as extra goodies along the way.
That's where we talk shit on the peons.
No shit talking.
Yes, we do. A little bit. At least about some of them. No, I'm just kidding.
But you can join the ranks of some cool people who have supported us over on Patreon, such as Allison H. Ark, Brandon W., Bro Mogan, Super Saiyan Ace, Erica L., Elise F., James K., Michael B., Michael S., Snooty Boots, Susan M., and Zach S. But if you can't do that, no big deal at all. We totally understand. The temperature is hot, and so is this economy. It sucks.
So is our love for you.
But that is true. And there are great ways to support the show for free, such as writing your friends about it, telling your friends about it, writing us reviews, subscribing wherever you listen to or watch the show. All of that helps to get the good word of Team Chat Podcast out there to the masses. And for that, we're eternally grateful and love each and every one of our viewers, listeners, and patrons alike. Bam.
Smooches. Heart emoji. XOXO. By the way, we do make the, what I now understand is like boomer heart hands. Fuck. Because I guess like the young people are doing something weird with their hands that I physically cannot do.
I have not seen this new hand, this new symbol.
All right. Imagine that my fingers can actually do the shape like your
Oh, so it's like middle finger and your point.
Yeah, but like I can't. Oh, it hurts. It hurt. That's at least.
That's stupid.
That looks like two it looks like two anteaters attempting to kill each other.
This looks like something from the Alien movies.
Yeah, it does.
I don't like it. That looks like a face hugger in front of me.
Or the even more new one is just the two little, you just like put your fingers together like this, and like this creates the heart. Isn't that so stupid?
That's playing the tiniest violin. That's playing the time.
Boy.
These kids and their hand gestures
young
these days.
people.
My God. My God.
My younger coworkers who are like 25 and under, there's 2 of them, and I'm always like, "Hey, young people, what is this new thing?" And they're like, yes, that's
This is the new slang that the kids are throwing out these days.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Very
boy.
demure, very, very, very mindful. We're very mindful and demure about things on this show. Young, hip,
We're keeping it fresh here at the Team Chat Podcast. That's what we do. But you know what also is fresh is some news and finding out what is coming out soon in a moment with Mogan. Really, this whole episode's news. But here's the stuff coming out in like the next week or 2.
Yeah, this is the immediate news of things that you can expect as of today's air date. Tactical Breach Wizards is out for PC. Concord is out for PC and PS5 on the 23rd. End Zone 2 Early Access is landing on PC on August 26th. A big one that we ourselves do not care about, but other people will. World of Warcraft, The War Within.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big expansion.
War Within, huge expansion, dropping for PC on August 26th as well. On the 27th, we have The Lord of the Rings, Return to Moria for Xbox Series X and S.
Wait.
I have no idea what that is.
Is that the farming one?
Maybe?
No.
That
doesn't make sense.
You would farm as the dwarves?
No, it's something like that. It's like a...
Now, resource management, I would get.
It's
but
something like
farming?
resource management. I'll look at it. What's it called?
Okay. The Lord of the Rings, Return to Moria.
Return to Moria.
Anyways, in other news, Genshin...
Because there's a Shire game also that's coming out. Something
now, that
about,
makes sense for farming.
and that's like cozy, like Stardew-esque, I want to say.
That totally checks out.
This one is... Okay, it's a survival... so resource survival game.
Okay, gotcha. That makes
Cool.
more sense because
You're playing
Moria...
as dwarves reclaiming the mines of Moria.
Oh, God, there's going to be Balroges, which is
that's not gonna be a
French
good
for
time.
Balrog. I don't know if you knew that. Anyways, we got
Fancy
some...
language lesson here today.
Fancy language lessons. I think we got some more information about this actually at the Gamescom showcase, and it is for Genshin Impact 5.0.
Oh, yep.
So sort of like the next big sort of wave of content that they're doing for Genshin Impact.
Mm-hmm.
That is landing for iOS, Android, PC, PS4, and PS5 on August 28th. On the 29th, we have Visions of Mana for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. On the 29th as well, we have Gundam Breaker 4 for PC, Switch, PS4, and PS5. We have Monster Jam Showdown for PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S on the 29th as well. Shadow of the Ninja Reborn for PC, Switch, PS4, and 5, Xbox Series X and S. Vampire Survivors. I believe this is the port.
Cool.
So Vampire Survivors is getting a PS5 and PS4 port on August 29th, and then rounding out the very end of the month. You complained last time when I didn't mention it soon
incorrectly
enough.
complained. I apologize.
Rounding out the very end of the month, and just in time for a holiday weekend if you're in the U.S.
Except I'm out of town that weekend.
Jarrett. And you won't have your PS5.
I'm taking my portal.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay,
try.
gotcha.
I'm gonna
Okay,
try.
okay.
I'm gonna try that on a distance trip because I'm gonna need to play some Outlaws.
You
that
need to
weekend.
play some Outlaws. But Star Wars Outlaws is releasing for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S on the 30th.
Very
That gets
nice.
us through
Very
the
nice.
end of August.
We have a showcase to chat about. A 2-hour-long showcase for the opening night live of Gamescom 2024.
I did forget that it was taking place in Germany, so like on all of the information, like both on screen and being spoken about, they're like, oh yeah, tonight.
Yeah.
And for us, it was 1 p.m. And I was
Right.
like, why do they keep saying night?
Well, that's why I
because
messaged
when
you,
you
'cause,
live
like-
in America, you forget that the rest of the world exists.
Right? And like it was even a thing where I knew Gamescom was coming up, but like I for some reason didn't see at
God,
all
it
that they were
snuck
doing like a
up on
showcase
us.
for like that Jeff Keighley was getting out there and doing a showcase for it. And so literally like Sunday night, I messaged Mogan and was like, "Hey, I realize this is happening tomorrow night." Thinking tomorrow night being, Tuesday
Yeah.
night when they said because it's opening night live. That's what I thought. And then, it was later that day. It was like, no, it's at 1 p.m. And I was like, well, we are just mucking this up all over the place.
It was nowhere
So-
on my radar, and I actually thought it started at 2, so that's why I was like an
Yeah.
hour late to the game because I saw people talking about it on the Discord, and I was like, wait, but it doesn't
But
start
it doesn't
till
start for
2.
now. I think that was my fault though because I posted shared the article and the article said that in my the headline I added on it I said 2 p.m. Eastern, which I never refer in Eastern, so that was
thanks
probably
for
on
nothing,
me.
Jarrett.
I'm sorry.
You screwed me.
But of what you did see, how did this showcase strike you? Like, how does it hold? How did it hold in terms of like an EA or E3 level reveal, or was this kind of just like okay, we know what's coming up. We're getting the updates.
I would definitely not rank anything from the showcase as being especially earth-shattering to me. I would really say that most of my reactions to almost everything shown were very mild.
Yeah.
Just mild across the board.
I think that was my thought with it too, because a lot of the stuff was also like I said, updates on things that we've already seen quite a little bit of information on. Looking at you, Indiana Jones. And
God, stop showing trailers for the game. We know.
that was, and honestly, at this point, they need to, I think, because after the first, we're jumping ahead a little bit here already, but like,
it was like
this
one of the last games they showed.
It was one of the last games they showed, but also, I think they need to stop showing it at this point because I think they need to let the game come out and let us see it. Because the very first trailer for this game that came out, I was like, originally when I heard Indiana Jones game, I was like, okay, cool. I like mild interest, but I'm intrigued to see where this goes. Saw the actual first trailer and got to see you like jumping around and swinging on the whip and all that different stuff. The action looked good. And then, yeah, even like the character model and like look of Indiana Jones in the game looks like Harrison Ford. And we did find out from this that Troy Baker is playing Indiana Jones in the game, which of course, but he's great. But like, you're just kind of like, my thing was the first trailer they showed us and with some gameplay, and I was like, oh, you know what? This actually looks cool. Like I'm pretty into this. This looks like it could be a good time. Now, 3 trailers later or showcases later showing us stuff about Indiana Jones, I'm kind of like, you're losing me on this game.
Really?
Because of the fact that they talked about, especially in this one, how it's like you're going to get to be Indiana Jones. Lots of stuff to explore, lots of stuff to discover, secrets hidden everywhere, which if that's true, that's fantastic. Like giving us a big open world place to kind of like explore and find stuff what's out there. But then they say, and it's not all just about like using your whip and getting into fistfights. But that's like what the majority of the trailer is like shots of Indiana Jones, like in cinematics, turning around and flashing his like roguish grin, or gameplay footage of him A, swinging on his whip, or B, getting into a fist fight with someone. And it looks like I just see like punch, punch, uppercut, and they're done.
Oh, so you're worried that it's the same recycled combos.
I'm worried that the gameplay, like, they're telling us there's a whole lot more, but the only thing they've really shown us is the same, like, fighting with a whip, fighting with your fists.
I see.
And I'm kind of like, guys,
nervous.
Like, you need to show us a little more here, because right now you're just showing me this is a very generic adventure game. And I kind of want, like, it looks, got to me kind of how you've talked about like the Uncharted games. Just like it looks like the gameplay loop is not going to be that fun if... And also, I do have to say, because I've talked about it before in other games about this, it is the first-person perspective, which, if it's melee, kind of more of a melee thing, I've talked about, that's not my biggest, that's not my favorite. But, you know, I know you'll also use guns at some point in the game too, so maybe it does have a better feel and all that stuff. But I was honestly like, I was excited. You guys are kind of starting to kill my excitement for it a little bit.
That's interesting. You were obviously paying much more attention to both this most recent trailer and the ones before, because I truly never would have clocked that. I really wasn't paying that much attention to the actual gameplay, which that goes to show what kind of gamer I am, I guess. But that's a really good.
If it's not Holland, I don't show it to me.
That's a really interesting catch. And now that you flagged it with me, I'm really interested to see if that actually comes to pass.
Just like at some point, everyone, a little homework from Team Chat Podcast from me to you. Just go watch the original announcement trailer for Indiana Jones, or like the first one that showed gameplay. Maybe not like announcement like here's the game, but one that actually shows gameplay. And then go watch the trailer they showed at Opening Night Live last night. And the game's still not coming out for another 3 months, December 9th.
Yes, so December 9th,
I think,
for I think
6th,
PC
like
and Xbox.
Yes.
And then PlayStation 5, they did confirm, has like an early, I think, Q1
Spring,
PS5
April,
release.
sometime like that. Yeah, 2025. Which I'm like, okay, well, I'm obviously just going to wait. December 9th, yeah. I'm going to wait for the PS5 version. Yeah, probably, which will give me plenty of time to know if I'm going to be a fan or not.
Watch,
by
it's
seeing the stuff.
It's going to be incredible on PC and Xbox, and then for some reason on PS5
PS5
it's going to not work at all.
Which, I mean, it's interesting to see that because, you know, now Bethesda, it's a Bethesda game owned by Microsoft, so it's interesting to see that seems to be their release model for working with games that they want to also bring to the PS5, that maybe it'll just be a few month delay.
I will say that for all that I have watched these trailers and thought, well, this just looks like Uncharted 2.0. They're trying to trick me into playing Uncharted again. I am not actually that against the Indiana Jones game. I think it has potential.
I do too.
And if reviews come out and they're like, "Oh my god, it's great. It's so much fun." I would be willing to give it a try.
Same. I have my interest in it, but I'm just saying now that I'm like, you got to show me a little bit more. You got to show me a little bit more than using his whip and punching out people.
And a 3-punch combo.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good catch.
So, we'll see what remains to be seen.
Yeah.
And I know there's some I think they showed some puzzly things and stuff like that too, but still, I'm
that's the part that has the most potential for me, are the more puzzling Tomb Raider aspects.
Exactly. Tomb Raider, a first-person Tomb Raider with some treasure hunting and different stuff like that. So that sounds awesome. So I need to see a little bit more of that.
But we skipped way ahead straight to one of the final games.
Yes, we did.
I actually missed quite a few things. So why don't you catch me up on what I missed before we kind of dive back into what I did see myself.
Well, the biggest thing, I think there wasn't a ton. Honestly, when you jumped on, I was gonna say
they always bullshit for a long time at the beginning.
Well, it was more just nothing really had popped up that I was like, this looks great. I will say I did watch the pre-show also, which they were just showcasing a few other smaller indie titles and stuff like that. And there was one game that was showed in there that I was like, this looks really fun because it looks like a straight up Rare game copy, OGDK, Banjo-Kazooie, kind of even Crash Bandicoot style gameplay.
Okay.
And everything. And now I'm completely blanking on it. The only
was that the King of Meat game?
No, that wasn't King of Meat.
Okay.
But the part that I'm going to try to look it up here. But the thing that stuck out to me about it too, other than the gameplay looking like an old Rare game, is David Wise is doing the music, or at least did the music for the trailer at least. God, so I'm trying to see
what that delightful man. His whole face.
I know, he's just so happy.
Wonder and joy.
Let me see if it's on here on his thing, because it's his upcoming
Dark Dice.
I think it might. No, that's
Adventures of Dreambird and Bedsmith.
It's
wow,
not out
what
here.
A name!
Damn it, it's not on here. I don't know how I'm gonna find this, because I even tried looking before we started, and it was.
Just type in Gamescom 2024 David Weiss.
Oh, there you go.
It'll probably come up. I know how to use the
Gamescom
internet.
2024 David Wise. All right, here we go. Nico DeRico. There you go.
Nico DeRico.
So let's see. Here, let's try something out here.
Try
oh
this?
God, no! That's not
it's
what I
already
wanted.
playing. Oh, avert my eyes. Don't show
I'm trying
me
this
it.
out
Whoa.
here. We're trying something new. Okay, but see, look.
Ooh.
See, it looks just like an old style Rare game.
It does.
And listen to that David Wise. You even get the letters
God,
calm.
Yeah, I was just about to say, listen to the music.
The only thing is, why is the wolf characters hot? I don't like it.
Because people are furries, Jerrett. Duh.
I hope this doesn't awaken something in me.
Are they a wolf and a lion? I thought they were both lions.
Maybe wolf and a lion. Oh, they might be lions.
They look like lions
I don't know,
to
but
me.
this looks super fun.
It does look fun. This looks exactly like DK.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to hear more about this game coming out and everything. So again, the title of it is Nico DeRico, The Magical World.
This looks
Nico DeRico, The Magical World.
Delightful. Yeah. So why was this in the pre-show? Oh my God.
I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
That looks like a delightful title.
Yeah,
I would definitely give that a shot. If it has a demo, because it's coming out in October, you said?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see if there's a demo out there, because it looks super cute.
And it looks like PS5, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch.
Good.
So
I was about to say, that seems like a Switch game.
We got a pretty hefty Call of Duty preview for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 coming out.
2 thumbs down.
Again, it's just it's Call of Duty. Why do we need these huge showcases for it? We know what we're getting. And so, but they spent a good few minutes on that. We sound really negative today. but no.
But I'm glad I missed that part.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. At the beginning, you didn't really miss a ton. Another one that looks super interesting that I'm excited to learn more about is this Directive 8020. It's another one of the Dark Man.
Oh, Dark Pictures Anthology?
Yes, Dark Pictures Anthology series.
Medan.
Man of Medan. That's what I kept trying to say.
The Dark Man.
The Dark Man Anthology, yes. So it's another thing in that, but it's set in space in the future. In the trailer, it shows the main character who's played by Lashana Lynch, who's Captain Marvel, or in Captain Marvel. What is her... She's her friend.
I haven't seen a Marvel movie.
Man, I cannot think of her character name. I apologize. But anyway, she's the main character, and it shows she's like in a space station that seems to be blowing up, in disrepair, or there's dead crew members around with her,
very
and everything,
Metroid
all
Prime.
that stuff. Very scary looking, and then she's being pursued by a slow moving ambling creature or humanoid creature that then, when is revealed at the end of the trailer, is like a clone of her, infected in some way. So
that sounds
it
cool.
looked pretty creepy.
I should catch up on that one because that sounds pretty fun.
It looked pretty sweet.
And those Man of Medan, like Dark Pictures anthology games, they're usually not super long.
Right.
Which is always, I mean, for us at this stage in life,
it's a good thing.
What a good thing.
We have to pick our 70, 80-hour games very carefully. But also great because it's the team, it's Supermassive Games, the team that brought us Until Dawn, which is getting its remaster and stuff coming out a little bit later this year as well. So, I mean, I've heard those games are great. I've been too scared to play them. They look scary, but no, I'm just kidding. I do want to go through the Man of Medan series because they do look really, really good. Yeah. And Until Dawn was a blast. This next trailer was very weird.
I know that you really wanted to show me this one.
I wanted to show you this one because I was like, this one is just kind of bonkers. So it was very fun, poked a lot of good fun at games, and I felt like, and it was not at all what I expected this game to be. So we're going to take a little peek on this one real fast too. I saw that sign and I was like, oh, what's this going to be? Remasters Ward. I thought it was very fun, like this mix of like old style.
The cash grab penitentiary like just kind of sunk in. I get the joke now.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the terrible which one? Yes. Okay, I get that joke. I can't remember the name.
The Warcraft.
Warcraft 2.
Can you believe this?
Oh my god.
You're finally awake. Skyrim reference?
Oh my god.
And the clipping.
Clipping through it.
GTA.
Okay, I don't know enough about
it's like Assassin's Creed 2 SEO trilogy.
Hilarious. Oh my god.
Oh god. And I couldn't tell like if this dude was supposed to be like from taking off something, but I think he's just like a random government agent type character. I believe this is like Red Dragon reference, the Hannibal Lecter.
This looks like a Control reference.
Yeah, it does. And this is when I knew, oh, it's Goat Simulator.
Oh my god.
Which then, it's the crazy hijinks of what a typical Goat Simulator game is, which I couldn't begin to tell you other than just like ridiculousness. But it's the 10-year anniversary of the OG Goat Simulator, so they're bringing out a remaster. So I thought it was just hilarious.
Very...
The like tongue-in-cheek,
yes.
the poking fun. Like, I've never played the Goat Simulator games. Don't know if I really will play the Goat Simulator games, but...
First of all, a hilarious
trailer.
Yeah, that's like one of the better game trailers I feel like we've seen in a while as far as like innovation and humor goes.
Yep.
Which very, very appropriate, very, very demure, very mindful of Goat Simulator Remaster. That's really funny. I just like the admission of cash grab penitentiary. That's quite funny.
Loved it. Okay, so we had a few more. We had King of Meat.
I did watch a recap, like to catch me up on some of the stuff that I missed. I thought King of Meat looked really fun for people that liked Fall Guys but wanted to be able to create their own arenas.
Kind of like
so that sounds neat.
Mario Maker mixed with Fall Guys. It looked pretty fun.
Like arena, massive brawler sort of game, but with user-generated levels. That sounds like for a certain type of gamer, the Minecrafters out there, the Fall Guy, that intersection, the Venn diagram between those two, that sounds right on the money for them.
Not for me, though.
No, not for me. No, I will not be playing that
I'm
game.
not good enough to do that.
This one looked at least kind of cool. Linked Banner of the Spark.
Yeah.
I couldn't decide how I really felt about it. Some aspects of it really kind of gave me like Mega Man vibes.
Yep.
But I couldn't decide if I thought I would like the gameplay or not, because it's like that top-down isometric view, which isn't necessarily bad, but it looked like very action-oriented.
Yeah.
I also couldn't really quite tell if it was just an action-adventure game or like a battle arena game. I couldn't quite get a feel for it, so I don't know how I feel about this one.
It didn't stand out to me.
Okay, we'll skip it then. Skip.
Okay, we do have this one. I think this one was before you jumped on too. Lost Records Bloom and Rage. It's from Don't Nod. Looks very Life is Strange adjacent. Takes place in the 90s. It's about a group of teenage girls who are starting their own band. And then, of course, there is some layer of mystery in it. Bloom and Rage is their band name that they come up with in the game. But first 2 episodes of the game, it's an episodic one, so they're going back to that. The first one will come out on February 18th of next year, and the second episode will be March 18th.
And that is the complete game, question mark?
I believe that is episodic game will launch in 2 parts. That sounds like there could be more than 2, but at least it's starting with 2.
Will
as opposed
in 2 parts. I mean, they've already.
They already lost me on that. Because
ironically, for the name, they've already lost me because
and 2, it looks more of a visual novel style of a game.
Which isn't really your jam.
It does or maybe not. I don't know. It looks like Life is Strange, but like the text selection is different and looks more like a visual novel. But it does still look like it's fully interactive 3D. Like thing kind of like Life is Strange, but It honestly, the trailer started and I was like, oh, we're getting more of double exposure. Oh. And then I was like, oh, it's not double exposure. It's a different game that's not in Life is Strange, but looks just like Life is Strange.
Well,
and I'm just kind of like, so you're giving us 2 of the same thing, almost very similar. They could both be great games, too early to tell. This one, neither of them are out yet. But I also thought that was kind of odd to just be like, oh yeah, here's this game, and here's also Life is Strange 2, double exposure. And they seem very similar.
Yeah, and we just had a couple of episodes where we really went back and sort of talked about Life is Strange, both Life is Strange 1 and Life is Strange 2, and what we liked and disliked about both of them. And the thing that we really settled on for Life is Strange 2 is we hate it. Well, we didn't. We sort of hated it.
We didn't hate it. It just did not live up to the second.
And our
first
experience about that was greatly impacted by the episodic release schedule. That was the thing that we really centered on. So like they have already lost me with the episodic release. I know from the past that is just not going to work for me.
If it does gangbusters and they release, the full full pack of all the episodes later on, and give it a shot, then that's what I did with the first Life is Strange game, and it was great. But yeah, I kind of saw that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. I'm not willing to front the money for a game that's episodic until I know if it's A, going to be completed, and B, in what time frame.
Right. Because
and is it actually good?
Because Life is Strange 2, not to harp on it for too long, but
it took so long.
It took over a year, and it was supposed to be within a year. I think it was because of like delays or just things, they pushed it back. And yeah, it would be like 4 months in between
and it
episodes.
Was just too long. It was way too long.
Way too long. So, hopefully, again, it does well. We hope all these games do well for their respective audiences. We're just talking for us. Some of these are not like hitting on the right page.
Don't nod. Leave the games in the oven. Just finish baking them. You don't need this. You don't need this episodic release format. I'm so off board with this entire format.
Yep. Same. Another one that I kind of am now hesitant or slightly more hesitant's a good word, I guess. Which I feel like this is an odd showcase for us because there is not normally most showcases we come away with a few ones, and yes, we're getting to some or one specifically that I'm very excited about. But I feel like this one is kind of like in a lot of ways did the opposite of what a showcase is supposed to do, and this is another example of it with Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders, they revealed it, I want to say sometime last year. It might have been at Game Awards last year that they first showed off a trailer for Arc Raiders, and I was in for it. It looks so fun. And actually, since we've already played some trailer, I'm going to do a little before example A, example B with this game. It's made by Embark Studios, who recently also came out with the game The Finals that I played. I got onto it for a little bit and then just kind of fell off.
But a lot
of
of
it.
people
But
love the
yes, and it's
finals.
still going pretty strong. I think has a great player base and everything. I just kind of got to, and I think they have new modes. I should honestly go back and give it another shake because I know first off launch they only had like two or three game modes, and it kind of got repetitive a little bit for me in the action of it. But I know they've expanded some things, brought in some new modes and different stuff, bigger team sizes and different stuff like that. So I should honestly probably
is
go
it
give it
more
another.
than 3v3 now?
I think it's 5v5 in some modes.
okay, gotcha.
So, I should go back and give it a fair shake. But
I only
liked
have 3 friends.
but I liked it enough that seeing that this game, Arc Raiders, is coming from the same studio, I was like, this is going to be great. Because the gunplay of the finals feels great. Like the mechanics, the movement, all of it feels really good. So I know that they have the
They've got
skills,
the juice. Yeah.
to make a good game. The first trailer for Arc Raiders came out at the Game Awards or whenever it was last year, and I was like, I'm into this. It had like a futuristic retro 80s vibe to it.
Like space, but in the 80s.
Space, but in the 80s. Like some of the characters were running around and what looked like cosmonaut space helmets, like early astronaut space helmets. It just like the color scheme, like it's got these VHS style color bands on it and everything. It just gives that whole vibe. So let's watch the first trailer, and you can kind of see like what I'm talking about. It has a really fun.
Oh, so this is the one from last year.
This is the one from last year. See, it's got this like VHS feel to it. It's grainy.
There is no way to hide.
Granted, I know this is a cutscene, but like this looks
barons,
great. Like look at these
queens.
environments.
We give them different
Deserts,
names,
so
but
hot right
So
now.
hot right now.
same.
That was the theme from Gamescom, by the
Killing
way, is that
machines
deserts are
falling from
in,
the sky.
Nordic inspiration is out.
Yep.
This is our home.
And I mean, it's giving me vibes
Our
of Destiny.
lasting
It's definitely going to be like a co-op loot shooter game,
is where the
which
brave
I like
meets the
those.
bold.
They're very fun.
We
I think
will
people
not
also
die
describe
in the
Arc
shadows.
Raiders as an extraction shooter.
Oh yeah. Kind of like has those hints of like Escape
Yeah.
from Tarkov and stuff. But check out this song. It's Robin, Dancing on My Own.
Oh, you
Fantastic
love this
track.
song. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I do remember you talking about this.
But like this is gameplay. Look how good this looks. You know what I mean? Like, and then look at the vibe of like the characters. It looks like they all scrounged their outfits together from just whatever they could find. Again, looks really, really fun.
Watch it. Scout ahead.
Looks like got like some stealth, like some good nighttime, daytime.
Confirmed impact. Barracks on the way.
Got this huge like mech.
You owe me one.
Perfect.
Like the game, like the music kind of makes it seem like it's going to have this kind of like more lighthearted atmosphere and feel to it. It just looks like this looks fun, right?
Also, it does look very good.
Yeah,
Also, I love Big Jump.
yeah.
Who doesn't love big
See?
jumping? In Monster Hunter, you love to jump on the monster.
That's
It's-
right.
It's the fun part.
Breaking orbit. Southern Rust Belt.
They will never stop coming.
Okay, and you're like, okay, so the enemy is coming from somewhere else, out, an extraterrestrial enemy that we got to face. Did they bring
a
about
little-
the end of the Earth? You
It's
know?
a little Helldivers.
Yeah, looks a little Helldivers too. Oh, what's this? A huge ass mech.
Resist.
Anyway, looks super cool. This fun 80s future retro vibe to it. I'm all about this. And I was like, hell yeah, I want to learn more about this game. Well, then it went silent because they were like, oh, something went wrong in like, I don't know if it like in the testing or like in the development, and they decided they
Somebody
needed to make
accidentally deleted all the files, and they're like, shit.
basically it like they kind of like pulled it back, wanted to cook on it a little bit more.
Release the finals in the meantime.
Yeah, and then like, and so now we get the update of what they're messing with for what it's going to look like now. Here's the trailer that they showed at Gamescom.
For 2025. Sorry.
Yeah, coming out.
We're
well, it's
currently in
coming.
2024.
Yeah.
You've told us nothing of this place.
I'm still jamming like I'm listening to Robin. But
Right, but she's
it's
not there.
Playing. It's playing in my head.
Look at us now. Raiders. Playing with fire.
So still the big mech.
Everything to lose. But even more to gain.
That was it.
That was it.
Huh. Very different
Which
tone.
trailer gets you more hyped for the game?
So, I mean, the first one, obviously, but that's because if I were seeing the second trailer alone and I hadn't seen the first one, I would know literally nothing about what kind of a game it was.
Yep.
Other
And there
than
was-
that it has like a kind of dark, somber
Obviously
atmosphere.
post-apocalyptic,
Yeah.
some weird big robots, but that's all you get.
That's all you get.
So
huh?
now it's kind of like the thing with the Indiana Jones. I'm like,
Is it because you didn't have anything else that you thought you could sell us on?
it's not so much that, it's just like this feels thematically and like the environmentally a step backwards from what the first trailer was presenting this game as being. It feels like they took the fun out of it and were like, no, we need this to be gritty and like serious.
We need
And
that
I'm like,
grimdark
we've
vibe.
got that already with these post-apocalyptic games. I was really hoping for this more like serious but yet fun, lighthearted vibe that the original trailer was giving for our creators. So after seeing this one, I'm kind of like, well, I want to learn more, but this is not what I was expecting them to come back with.
Yeah, you had me, and
So-
now you're losing me.
Exactly. So again, I'm like, this showcase is not doing the right thing for me here and getting me hyped for these games that I've already been hyped about. So I thought that was kind of interesting and kind of an odd like takeaway from it that I was kind of like, huh, this feels like a shift. And I don't feel like this is what I would have come back with to be like, hey, this game is coming out soon.
Yeah.
Granted, there are going to be play tests. It does say October, late October, I believe. There will be some play tests that you can sign up for and jump in. I'll be doing that because I want to see like what's going on.
Because maybe it'll be awesome.
Maybe
it's going to be great.
Maybe this is just not a great trailer. That's totally possible.
Maybe the marketing team just fumbled it.
Yeah. So, we'll wait to see. I'm still excited for it. I want to check it out. But that didn't. I was like, oh, this feels not what I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Here's one that I think we were both
I
we
am
can't
so
decide how we
torn.
land on this.
So we're talking about Dune Awakening. So I think that they had previously teased Dune Awakening at some other showcase
Mm-hmm.
or like maybe one of the pseudo E3s or whatever it was. And they didn't really tell you that much about it other than that it was going to be a sort of an alternative universe take
Yes.
on Dune and Arrakis. So you're not playing as any of the main title characters within the Dune world, which I think is a very smart move.
Yes.
Take the setting, take everything that's awesome about Dune, take everything else out, strip out the narrative that people know from the books and from now the movies, and just start fresh but with the same setting. I think that's a very smart move because honestly, it's the only thing I like about Dune. I love the setting, I love the
You're here
vibe,
for the
I love
vibes.
the look. I hate Paul so much. I want him to just perish in the desert. Like that's not entirely true. There are things about Dune that I like very much. I've read the first book and I was like, did I waste my time? but the movies are awesome.
Movies are
So
great.
anyways, the game Dune Awakening is very much pitched as a survival MMO.
Yeah.
Which the survival Dune Arrakis part totally
Perfect,
has
perfect.
me. It looks good. Arrakis looks really nice in the game. I love how much of a commitment they seem to be making to the concept of what would it actually take to survive on Arrakis. Because
Yeah.
in the first part of the trailer, they talk about like, oh, well, you have to get out of the sun. You have to like go shadow to shadow in some of the landscape features to make sure that you don't literally die from exposure to the sun. I
Yeah.
love that kind of flavor touch. There's worms, big worms, the grandfather. He comes. I love the worms. I love the entire environment, and the whole deal is like, oh, okay, you're trying to start you're like a freed slave or something, or like
Yeah.
a freed prisoner. Like you've basically landed or crash landed on Arrakis. I can't exactly remember how they set it up, but you land on Arrakis, and your whole job is to basically build your own settlement, get a new fresh start on the wonderful scenic world of Arrakis, so so welcoming, so warm, so easy to survive
demure.
in, and so demure, so mindful. So you have to, dude, demure. So you have to either like go it alone or ideally team up with other people to build your settlements, do your best to survive, to expand, and it's more like, survival resource management.
Right.
Which that sounds very appealing to me. But the MMO aspects are where I'm kind of like, ooh, how necessary is that?
It just looks so fun, and
looks
I just
so good.
don't have the time to invest in an MMO.
I'm also deeply worried about the monetization of it, because a lot of MMOs are on a subscription service, which I
Right.
completely understand. An MMO is meant to survive for forever. I mean, people that are really into Final Fantasy 14, for example, it's like, yeah, sure, put all your money into that game. I totally get it on a monthly basis. If you're putting in that many hours, it makes total sense that you would pay that kind of model for that kind of subscription game. So I'm thinking, okay, is this that kind of game? Is it going to be a subscription-based model? Is it going to be free to play with
Right,
in-game
right.
monetization? They really haven't said anything about that as far as I can tell. So that's a concern for me. And then also just like going back to how much of an MMO is it?
Right.
Can I play pseudo on my own and still have a good experience, or do you really need to get into the more online social
Right.
aspects of it to have a good time?
Which is where, honestly, games like this, games like even our creators, for me, somewhat fall flat, because it's just like, you then have to have the group,
You gotta
of
have
your
the
friends
gang, the squad.
to like join up in it. It's hard to like jump in with randoms. Then you have to either make friends from randoms.
You have to like join a guild like in the old days.
and it's just that's like a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
and I just don't know if I have that time.
And I mean, back in my day, back when like MMOs did have dedicated guilds,
Yeah.
it was like a really big deal to be part of a guild, and you couldn't necessarily just sort of join a guild willy-nilly
Yeah.
and
You
show
had
up
to
when you
contribute.
wanted to. You had to be there for
Yeah.
the raids. You had to contribute if you wanted to stay in the guild. And like just that level of commitment.
Well, and
again,
even-
it's just like we just don't have that kind of time anymore.
Even to be perfectly honest, like fucking love Helldivers 2. And like they just came out with a huge update for it with some new like enemies, guns, all this big stuff back in actually like a couple weeks ago. But it's one that I've kind of dropped off of. Not because the game's not fun, far from it, but you have to do it with a group. Like you can run it solo, but you're not going to be able to do anything high level.
You're not
really.
going to have a good time.
So you have to usually run it with like a group of 3 to 4 people, which again, randoms or friends. But the missions, like some of the base missions are like 40 minutes. And if you want to like get all the things and collect all the like resources and things you need, you're going to spend that full 40 minutes there. So really, you can do 1, maybe 2
In a day.
in a night. You know what I mean? And it's just like finding then that chunk of time to have uninterrupted, because you can't pause, and like to carve out that time for it is just difficult.
Yeah.
So as much as I love that style of game, and like Dune Awakening looks fantastic.
And actually, a couple of the other features that they showcased that I was like, oh, that looks, well, in one case, that looks so cool. And in another case, oh, that looks nice for other people.
Yeah.
The nice for other people feature they showed off is the ability to both design your own like buildings
Yeah.
and then to share those schematics with other people.
Yep.
So for people that are really into the building aspects of games like this, that's going to be a big
I'm
draw.
not good at
I don't give a shit
those.
about that. But the part that was like the flavor win that I was like, oh, I love that, is
Yeah.
they mentioned that you can actually join up and pledge your allegiance to one of the great houses.
is cool.
Which in the Dune world, that's like so for people that are only familiar with the movies, you would only really know the Harkonnens and the Atreides. God, I was immediately blanking on their name. So you would only know the Harkonnens and the Atreides. And my big question is, okay, but they mentioned houses and didn't really expand on that beyond those two. Are the other great houses going to be there?
like, could
Because
you
if
also
that's
just
the
be
case,
what's the Fremen? Could you
Oh,
just be the Fremen?
Good, good
I want
question.
Stilgar with me.
Good question. Yeah, oh, I got Stilgar, the king of our hearts. But so that actually really grabbed me, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, well, what if you can join the other houses that haven't been featured in the movies, or if you only made it a certain way in the books, you wouldn't really know about.
That would
So
be cool.
that has me very interested. So it's not a definite no. It's more a how much of a commitment is
Yeah.
this game going
Yeah.
to require from me? If that commitment level is pretty low, honestly, I'm pretty jazzed about it. If that commitment level is really high, not very jazzed about it.
I'm hoping it's like a Destiny level of commitment.
Yeah.
Where like if there are raids, you can do the raids like if you get your group together and do them of your friends, or you can even join up with randos. But like outside of that, you can easily go run the game solo. Yeah. That's kind of what I hope
That's
Arc
my
Raiders
question.
is. That's what I kind of hope Dune is. Like if it's more like that. Like even Helldivers, it's like you can run it solo, but like I said, you're not doing the harder difficulty stuff by yourself. And so that's where I kind of am like, yeah, let's see the commitment. But the game itself looks
good. It looks
good.
real good. So I wish all the best for them. I hope it's really fun. Maybe it will be a game for us. Maybe it will not be. But speaking of a game that is 100%, this is actually my highlight of the night.
Yes.
For a couple of very specific reasons, we are now going to talk about Reanimal. So when this trailer started, and they said it was from the developers
Studios.
of the Little Nightmares games, Tarsier Studios, and the trailer started without the title card. I was like, oh, this is Little Nightmares 3. Wrong. It is not.
It's
a
Reanimal.
different game from the same studio, but this one very specifically is co-op. 2-player co-op.
It's gonna be scary.
2-player couch co-op.
Look at this.
Scary game that both of us watched and we were like, oh, this is like Bramble. This is
it
Bramble
looks Bramble
vibes.
even
Yeah.
on like steroids. Like
Yeah.
Bramble had some disgusting, like grotesque parts. This is like on another level.
Yeah, this looks like
it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with a touch of I don't know, Human Centipede, Saw.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, God, it really
like there's some
did.
body horror stuff in there, like animal morphing and disfigurement. Like it looks creepy.
There's a very
as
scary
hell.
air quotes sheep. I don't know if you could really call it a sheep,
Yeah.
but it sort of looks like a sheep. So it looks very scary. And the important thing about the co-op that is really appealing to me in the context of a co-op horror game, we share a fixed camera.
Oh,
so it's
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
like both of us would have control of our own view.
not split screen.
No split screen. You're both in the same camera angle, which is so fun to like make it feel really claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm.
And if one of you is falling behind or gets stuck on a fucking box and dies while you're running away from something, it's like, great, now we're both dead. So this looks like a game that we will definitely want to stream
Yes.
together. I think it looks really fun and very scary. So demure, so mindful.
Not at all. Okay. We're getting to the big boys.
Ooh,
In
yeah.
fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and let's save these two.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go ahead and skip through the rest. Marvel Rivals. It looks like Overwatch, but it's Marvel.
Yes.
Starfield's getting a car. Monument Valley.
So real quick, that trailer was baffling to me. Like when they because at
I'm
first,
gonna need a Starfield fan to jump into the chat and
Yeah.
explain to me why this is cool.
yeah, Kirok, you're gonna have to really come to bat for your game because both of us saw this and we're like, what the fuck is this? They took a Rocket League car, I guess, and put it into Starfield and made it an entire like 2 to 3 minute long trailer, and we're
Yeah.
just like, why?
Of just it, like doing different things and like rocketing off of a ledge, jumping over a crater, and I'm like, cool, man. I guess it helps
Okay.
your exploration.
Good
This is
for
cool,
you,
I guess. Monument Valley 3, which I didn't know that there was a 2.
So both an incredible game. So the Monument Valley games, for those of you that aren't really into mobile gaming, obviously I used to be, some of the absolute top tier mobile puzzle games available.
I was kind of thinking I needed to show this one to Sam.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, I
Because
bet she would love it. And you can still buy Monument Valleys 1 and 2. I think they're available for both iOS and Android.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent games. I believe, I'm not sure if 1 and 2 both got it, but there might actually be ports for the Switch.
Oh, okay.
So don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely certain, but it's sort of a moot point for Monument Valley 3 because tragically it is coming out, but it is a Netflix games exclusive.
Which I'm sure, so I'm assuming that means I'm not up to date on Netflix's current subscription tiers. I'm actually not, don't have Netflix right now because waiting for something good to come out actually.
Burn.
But so obviously, like I think if you have Netflix app on your phone, you can play the games on your
Yes.
phone, and
You
you
just
can play it
open
on
up
your
the app
TV,
on your phone and you go
different
to the
stuff like
games
that.
section, very
But still,
easy.
it's so weird to me to see a game like
Yeah.
Netflix exclusive. That's an interesting.
It
one.
is unfortunate. So now both they're robbing me blind. They're taking Monument Valley from me, and they also already got that little like super pseudo sequel to Cozy Grove.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, stop. I need you to stop this. I will not be signing back up for your service just to play 1 to 2 games. It's not going to happen.
All right, let's see. What else we got? A VR Batman game, Batman Arkham Shadow, coming to MetaQuest 3.
To be honest, obviously neither of us will play this because we don't have the MetaQuest,
Right.
but I will say the game looks quite fun.
Yes, it
like
does.
if you're a fan of VR and you have a MetaQuest 3, this looks like a really good game. So give it a try if you can withstand the motion sickness. Give it a try. Actually, watching the trailer, I was like, oh, it kind of looks like VR Dishonored.
Yeah, it kind of does.
I had that thought.
All right, a couple of others. There's Squid Game Unleashed, which is a mobile version of a game coming again. Netflix
Another
games.
Netflix exclusive.
We got some more info on the Diablo 4 expansion, Vessel of Hatred, showing the mercenaries that you can hire to come help in your combat and destruction of hell. Diablo is a fun game and it looks like a fun time, and it looks like that would be some pretty cool additions to the gameplay.
A couple of the bosses / baddies that they showed off in this trailer actually gave me big Blasphemous vibes.
Oh, yes.
Specifically one of those characters, I was like, well, this is Blasphemous. They're ripping off Blasphemous.
It did give me some. What was that? Path of Exile?
No,
Because Path of Exile looked like Diablo. No, you're right.
Oh, yeah, no,
But,
Path of Exile looks like Diablo.
Diablo,
4,
this one
Vessel
looked
of
like
Hatred. This had Blasphemous
vibes. Okay.
enemies. Yeah.
So that one looked. Diablo 3 is fine. I haven't touched 4 yet.
I'm sure
but,
people will like it.
Let's see. So this one was an interesting one. Masters of Albion.
I
It's
don't know what
the
to make of
new-
this.
I don't either. It's the new game from Peter Molyneux, who made Fable, Populous, and like the Black and White games. Very highly regarded games. He tried a couple things out on mobile, I believe. That maybe is Populous.
Oh, yeah, because when he came out on stage, he kind of, not necessarily joked about it, but he at least made mention like, oh, yeah, I've been, playing around with mobile for a while now, but I'm getting back to my roots.
I believe it was Populous is his mobile game that was well received, I think, ish, because it was Peter. Like, people were excited about it because it was him making it, but I don't know if it had quite the same effect as his older games like Black and White and stuff did, and obviously Fable. But this game is interesting. It looks like it's going back to what he does well with like Black and White. Black and White is one I actually always wanted to play growing up because it looked really fun. It's like Age of Empires-esque style gameplay, like real-time strategy, but you take the role of a god and like you get like very minute management of your settlements and the people within them. You can like punish them with like send fantastical mythical beasts to punish for them and do all this crazy stuff.
Vicious.
Fight against other gods and their followers and stuff like that. Looked a lot of fun. This game kind of feels like it follows that same vibe really, where it is like you're building a settlement. You can very like micromanage your settlers into what they're doing. You have all these little small things that you can go in and do. But one of the cool things about it is, say you send one of your explorers off, or really you can do this with any person in your village. You send them off to go explore or whatever, and they're going to go like protect your village from the horrors that come out at night kind of thing. And they go off into the forest. You can actually then go into third person view of that villager that you're controlling and play as them. You can fight, you can collect resources and do other stuff. And you can do that with any person in the game, any of the people in the thing. That's pretty cool. And I know that this is probably very early, but the game itself looked clunky as hell.
It looked choppy.
And that, the hand, like picking up people, move them around. Again, this could be just an early, beta, alpha, whatever version they're showing off. But the clunkiness of it, I was like,
now, to be fair,
needs a little bit of refinement before I think it would get
to be fair, I think that Peter Molyneux has, at least in more recent memory, kind of gained a reputation for being a bit of an overpromiser. So to be fair, I'm going to say bold move, Cotton, to show a game that clearly has some technical issues, because I feel like that is at least being honest about what the game is like right now. So truly, I was like, okay, well, it looks a little. It definitely needs some polishing, but you know what? At least they're putting it out there that's what it looks like right now, instead of doing the big, super polished, hyper realistic animated trailer that doesn't actually show the gameplay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, all right, well, at least he's not making bombastic promises that cannot possibly be kept.
Right. No, agreed. Okay.
In
Few
other
more
news,
things.
it did not look like a game for me.
Exactly. Same for me. I was like, this is interesting. I like the concept, but I'm not going
to here was like, I don't think this is for me.
Which is interesting. This is what I mean. This is a very odd showcase because especially for its length, you would think there's going to be some stuff in here that I'm like super excited for. And there is. We're about to get to those.
The second thing that we both agreed looked awesome.
Yes.
And wasn't technically a game.
Not technically a game.
Not technically a game, but
It is a new TV show coming to Amazon Prime called Secret Level. And it is made it's the creators behind Love, Death, and Robots, primarily Blur Studio.
Blur
If you
Studio.
know Blur, which you probably do if you have played video games.
You may not know you know them.
You may not know you know them. But if you've watched a Blizzard cinematic, most likely any cinematic really that like blew you away, Blur probably touched it.
Yeah.
And so this is a whole whole TV series. I want to say it's going to be like 15-ish episodes, I want to say. But it's all going to be centered around video games and their universes. Go watch the trailer for this. It looks fantastic. Love, Death, and Robots is a fantastic show on Netflix. I will give it that. Props there. Love, Death, and Robots is awesome. And Blur does a few of the episodes in that show as well. But this is going to specifically focus each episode on a different video game.
on a different IP.
On a different IP. And from what the trailer looks like each episode will mirror, in some ways, maybe not 100%, but will mirror the graphical art style of the game itself.
Yes.
Specifically, the Sifu episode.
Oh God! So for
Oh my
now, to be
God,
fair,
I'm excited.
The trailer was very fast, and it hopped around from different games very quickly to obviously show off everything that they've got going on. So we only saw like literal seconds of each individual episode, but what we briefly saw of the Sifu ones, I can already tell that it's
so
going to be
good.
Jared and I's favorite episode.
So good.
Because Sifu as a game looks amazing.
Yes.
So a
Yes.
whole animated episode about Sifu, first of all, it's just going to be like the best martial arts episode you've ever seen in your life. It's going to be incredible.
It's going to be incredible.
It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. But in other news, they did also show off a couple of other IPs like Armored Core. I'm not really into Armored Core, but I love its
That'll be an
look.
awesome episode
yeah,
of the
it's going to
TV
be an
show.
awesome episode. Some Dangans and Dragons,
Yep.
Pac-Man, Spelunky, Outer Worlds. Excuse me, I always want to say the Outer Wilds, but no, it's Outer Worlds. Unreal Tournament. My OG
That's
is
gonna be
coming
cool,
back.
too.
If they don't have the gravity turned off with the gore up to the max, I'm
the
going to be so
gore's gonna be up to the
disappointed.
max.
The gore is definitely going to be up to the max. Unreal Tournament, Warhammer 40K, and I actually love that they snuck in this final guy, Mega Man.
Yeah.
Mega Man's coming, and I'm like,
Mega Man,
Man?
Kratos, so there's going to be a God of War one, and Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, yes.
So it's going to be fantastic.
I
so
feel
look
like,
forward to that.
And this is coming out in, I believe, November or December?
Yes, I think so.
I am so glad
so hyped.
that I steal my sister's Amazon Prime because this is the kind of thing that I would briefly sign up for a trial if I
Oh, yeah.
didn't have my own, because this is like a must watch for me.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
let's-
basically taking like the Star Wars Visions approach, but, at Blur's level of animation.
It's going to be good.
Great.
It's going to be so good. All right. The
I
last
can't wait.
two.
Wait, real quick aside. I can't wait for us to do team chit chats about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I honestly just had the thought. Remember how we started, everyone? We did
Yes.
those 2 episodes
I forgot.
of the Anime Strikes Back, where we did review like each episode of Star Wars
yeah.
Visions. This is way more video game related.
Yes.
I feel like we should bring that back. for
We
this.
should,
They're
yeah.
like 15 minutes.
We should just do quick little recaps of each of them.
Talk about how awesome they are. That'd be awesome. Yes, good team chit chat information right there. But the last 2 big things, we'll let everyone go, that we wanted to talk about are the 2 games that I think, respectively each, probably have us the most hyped of what we saw from the
think for
Gamescom
sure.
opening night
Yes.
live. Let's talk about this first one that is going to cross over for both of us.
Yeah, big crossover for both of us. Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh, it looks good.
So to be perfectly fair, I have honestly not watched many of the Wilds trailers very closely so far, really intentionally.
Yeah.
Because I mostly want to be, kind of like going into it pseudo blind.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I watched this trailer because holy crap. The game is pretty.
It is so
It's
pretty.
beautiful. So specifically, I think that they were like, all right, we really need to hit them with the color palette, with the bam bam and the colors, because they specifically showed off a fight versus a big like flower spider monster.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we've got some.
I
We've
was
got,
immediately like, I'm out. But
yeah.
no, just kidding.
but
It looks too good.
we've got quite a few die-hard Monster Hunter fans that are part of our Discord. So Snooty Boots, if this is a monster that has been around before, he will obviously recognize it. I don't. Monster Hunter Worlds was my first Monster Hunter game.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I also played Monster Hunter Rise. So this is like if you took the color palette from Rise,
Yeah.
which is much more colorful, but a lot uglier, at least in terms of like graphic quality, but mixed it with the graphic quality that they were able to achieve with World, smoosh that together, get a super polished, ultra beautiful looking Monster Hunter game, but with the color palette that you're sort of looking for that's a little bit more bright and poppy.
Yep.
Oh, it looks fantastic.
It looks so
They're
good.
palicos. They showed off meat cooking, which
Those steaks look
Yeah,
good.
if you know, you know. Like if you're into Monster Hunter, you're like, yes, I actually do want to watch the cutscenes
Cooking
of the
with
cooking.
palicos.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. It looks amazing. Honestly, I cannot wait. They showed off a lot of really cool looking monsters for it.
Yep.
It's gonna be good. Like it's gonna be a good game.
And I'm excited for it because you all got into Monster Hunter World, and I got into it like
You
way
were
late.
way too late to
Like
the game.
Iceborne is out, and I was like, "Hey, should I play this too?" And you're like, "Yeah, you can try it, but you're never going to be able to play with us because you're so fucking low level, you
Oh my
scrub."
God.
And so I was like, "I'm gonna try." And then it didn't work out well. And
You
then,
did try, though.
I did
You
try.
tried.
And then I did get Rise, and we all played Rise for pretty good,
Yeah.
and I stuck with that one, but. I'm excited to get to like the huge ones like this, like go
big
back to like the
one.
world thing.
Yes.
I'm excited to get that. So I'm really excited to get that from the get go and be able to,
Yeah.
stick that one out. And try it
Very
out.
jazzed
So
for Monster
fun.
Hunter Wilds. Coming out, blah, 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 I think they still don't have a firm release date, but
Yeah.
2025.
2025. And then also, speaking of Snoo Boots, he commented on watching some more stuff that one of the big changes for this one that he's excited about is that there will be non-gender specific armors.
This rules. So the sort of running joke in Monster Hunter is that the male armor is always so much uglier and less cool than the female armor, which is always A, much cooler, and B, way sluttier. Like those armor bikinis right, left, and center. Not all
Yeah,
the time, but
yeah,
some of them are
some
really
of them.
like that. And my response in the Discord was, "Thank God, male sluts, male sluts, male sluts," because that's awesome that you'll finally be able to have true equality in
It
a
is good.
Monster Hunter game.
It is good.
I can't make 3.0 and make her as slutty as possible.
Old grandma.
Old Gran. By the way, we'll talk about it when we eventually do our Dragon Age Inquisition review episode.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite remake Gran in Dragon
but
Age.
did you try?
I tried.
You need to take a screenshot because I
I
took
know,
a screenshot
I do.
of my character too, so we can
Ooh, yeah,
show
so
off
we can
our
compare.
various characters.
Yes.
Because yes, our review episode of Dragon Age Inquisition is also
coming.
coming, which is fitting since we now have the release date for Dragon Age Veilguard, which is October 31st. So that's exciting.
Ooh,
All right,
on Halloween.
Yeah.
Bold move, Kyle.
I know, right?
Bold move.
very cool to see.
But
All right.
the game that
The game of the conference,
The game of the night.
showcase, will I say, game of the year 2025.
for both you, for Bro Mogan, for
Oh
Kirok,
my
a
God.
lot of people in our community are absolutely frothing at the mouth for
Civilization 7. Oh my God. We had the reveal earlier this year. We knew it was coming out and everything like that. We didn't know release date, hadn't seen any gameplay. We just knew, hey, we're here. They showed, we're working on it. They showed us a trailer.
a very sleek, cool
Very
trailer.
sleek, cool trailer. And that was all I needed for me to get hyped as hell. Now they finally showed me gameplay. They have, and then after the Game Award, the Gamescom showcase on the Firaxis Games Twitch channel, they did a deep dive, giving even more information into Civ 7 and what you're going to be getting. First off, they showed what it's actually going to look like, the map and everything. And oh my God.
Does it look good?
It looks so good. It is all the colors are bright and vibrant, highly detailed. Like you see fish swimming in the oceans. You see sea vegetation like moving under the water and stuff. Like it is beautiful, and it's from a great angle. Where I thought I saw something on my recorder.
Oh, Jesus, I was about to say, tell me we
please
didn't lose the
just lose this
audio.
whole thing. No, we're good. And so, but it's also like it's at a certain angle where you can almost get like level. And so like you see mountains like up in the foreground blocking your view. It's very like 3D looking. Oh my God, it's beautiful. But it still keeps that same isometric like top down view of what you know and love.
You
from
need to
Civ-
be able to
from the Civ
manage your
series.
lands. You have to
Yes.
have a nice,
Yes.
broad, God level view.
And you know what has usually been the case in old Civ games, and this is just a very much like art style thing that I just love, or new touch that they did, is there's always the fog of war that you have to like go out, explore, fill out the map as you go. This time it like looks like a game board. And so it's like, yes, there are always the hex spaces in Civ, but now it's like undiscovered map. Looks like hex tiles with like really fancy like metallic covering. It just looks so clean. And I know that in this, all the stuff that they showed off, there was a lot of stuff where I was like, the UI doesn't look finalized. It looks like there's like the layout is off. There's stuff missing. Like they're obviously like still very much a work in progress, but just the look of it. And just even, and it does stick more with a more realistic look. It doesn't go into the more cartoonish look of like Civ 4 and everything, which, you know, it's neither here nor there. The gameplay is what really brings you there, but I do kind of like draw more to the more realistic look of it and everything like that. But they're changing up a lot of stuff that they showed off in the deep dive. One of the big things they did reveal also the new narrator. The narrator is usually a pretty big thing of who's it going to be. Civ 6 was Sean Bean.
Sing Bean.
This one, Civ 7, is going to be Gwendolyn Christie.
What a fun.
Fantastic
I was
pick.
kind of hoping they would do the Tekken announcer, but I understand why they didn't.
And she was the voice, is the narrator for the trailer. She like was also the narrator for the deep look, the deep dive that they showed after. And oh my God, perfect choice for the narrator.
Choice.
She's going to be fantastic.
Good for her.
But they also talked about some other things in the game, some of the big changes, such as it releases on all platforms day one. Civ game has never done that before. Wow. So it'll be Mac, PC, Switch, PS5, and Xbox.
Point for Mac.
Point for Mac.
Good job,
still,
Mac
still
players.
out there kicking. It's also, though, one of the biggest changes is very interesting to me. And as soon as they showed this, I was like, hats off to the Humankind developers, because Civ is taking a page from their book, where you are now, instead of being one civilization from the beginning of the game to the end, at the era changes, you will then have the opportunity to switch your civilization, because they're kind of like saying like, this is the build up, because it's like, it's the buildup of showing like how the world changes over time. Like, you know, the same, yes, as you may start as this, but like, you know, the America of back then is not the America today, or like the ancient
Nations rise and fall.
Exactly. So it's kind of like but that is very much a Humankind. Remember that game is that I talked about where I actually did a comparison, like talking about the two. That is very much a Humankind mechanic, and one that they developed. And so it's very cool. And the Civ developers have like said, that's really cool. Like they have acknowledged how good, like the
At least
good work that the Humankind devs did
How
to like
lame
push
would
the
it
genre
be if
forward.
they came out and they were like, "Oh yeah, look at this brand new concept
Right.
that we
Right?
civilization
It's-
are pioneering."
It's definitely, they're going to take it and put their own Civ spin on it. But I was like, that's very cool to see, especially because I do have that like knowledge now of Humankind. Getting to see it compare to what Civ 7 will be, and how Civ puts its own special spin on it, will be very, very cool.
Nice.
Very excited to see that. You're going to still do have the districts, it looks like, of Civ 6. Another big new thing, there are actually going to be navigable rivers. You can actually, as an explorer, can get in a boat and go up a river, as opposed to just like it being a river that floods and gives some like benefits every once in a while. So that's going to be cool. Whenever there are battles going on and you're fighting, they're now going to be just like constantly the units, if they're like next to each other, are always going to be like in a state of combat. So like if you scroll over that part of the map, you'll hear the sounds of battle coming in,
Fun.
see them fighting. But if you scroll away, you know, you don't necessarily see it. Just like cool touches like that. Again, they are changing it. They're used to, in 6 used to be like ancient era or Bronze Age. I think it's like classical, ancient, classical, medieval, industrial, modern. So there are 5. They're paring it down to only 3 eras this time: the antiquity, exploration, and modern.
Okay.
And so that's where those big changes will be, where you'll have the chance to like change your civilization and different stuff like that.
I see. Okay.
Whenever those big eras happen, but usually it's like in the Civ games, they can be fairly quick depending on how fast you like discover your sciences and move forward in either science or your culture and different stuff like that. So that's pretty cool to see. You can also select your leader independent of the Civ that they were originally from.
Wow.
To like pair their various benefits of the leader with a different kind of with a different Civ.
Cool.
Very cool to see.
That's fun.
All leaders and civilizations will be portrayed in their original language. and stuff like that. We'll have
Nice.
musical cues matching their culture.
I like that.
That's very cool to see. And speaking of music, Christopher Tin is back as the composer of the like incredible, possibly Grammy-winning song. I think it was "Sono di Volare."
Yeah.
That was the Civ 6 theme. That is, and Baba Yetu. That is from
Baba
Civ
Yetu.
4.
Yes.
Both just highly emotional, goosebump-giving songs, and he's back to do the music for Civ 7.
That's awesome.
High fives all around. High fives all around. So
I love that you said high five while you were clapping.
Okay, whatever. Claps all around. Whatever. Congratulations all around. Civ 7 looks like it's going to be fantastic and comes out February 11th, 2025.
I feel like that's so soon.
It's so soon.
Like they really sat on the game until they were basically ready
Yes.
to release it, which is so rare
So
in today's
rare,
environment.
but-
so demure, so mindful.
But it is, I cannot wait. The whole rest of the show, I was just like, cool. Civ 7 started and just the heart rate got up. I was excited. I was on the
Nice.
edge of my seat to see what they were going to reveal. And oh
Very
my
cool.
God, I can't wait.
So the TLDR on Gamescom 2024 is we had approximately 3 games that we were genuinely excited for, and everything else was mid to not necessarily bad, but like
Just
caveats.
a lot of stuff that
a lot
is
of
like,
caveats.
yeah,
all
caveats,
around.
and also just stuff like, okay, we know about this already.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Like, I'm sorry, are we going to really get like a Starfield update every time we have a showcase?
For
Like,
a
I'm
car.
not, and I'm just using that as an example, but like these are games that are like out now for a while. Are we just going to keep doing the same same dance?
And I think in one of
But-
the catch-up articles or videos that I was watching, they described Gamescom as the biggest gaming event of like the year, and I'm like, are we sure about that?
I think it is actually.
Because
Like,
I mean, I'm sure that by volume it probably is, but it didn't feel that way.
The showcase did not.
Yeah, the showcase did not.
But I
feel
do know that a lot of these games that they showed off in the showcase are at the game floor. And
Yes,
you can, like
yes,
Civ
yes,
7's
that's
there and a few other.
Oh,
Like,
I think
of
they
these-
said Wilds. I think Wilds was at the game floor.
Yes, yeah. So there's a lot of like hands-on
Yeah.
getting to experiment. So I don't know. Maybe we should try to fit it in the team chat budget one day to go to Cologne, Germany. You know?
Wait, no, let's go to the Latin America one. I want to go to Brazil.
That
Yeah,
one does look
that
fun.
would be
Yeah,
awesome.
let's go to Sao Paulo. But
Screw
anyway,
you, Europe.
we've been to you before.
I want to fly down, not across.
But yeah, I don't really think I had anything else that really jumped out from the showcase. It was
Oh, sorry. One more mention. We kind of touched on it and then glossed over it because of Reanimal. There is a Little Nightmares 3.
yeah.
Yes, just putting it out there. They're making both Reanimal and formerly Little
just wanna
Nightmares
scare the
3.
shit out of everybody.
Little Nightmares 3 looks just as good as the other games. It just also didn't look as scary as Reanimal by comparison.
Reanimal looked like that is going to be
Rough.
a rough time.
We're gonna have a bad time.
Gonna have nightmares after that one. Big nightmares.
And
No
we're
little
both-
nightmares about it.
No, they can be big nightmares.
So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And then we'll see Jeff again in December. December 12th actually is
God,
Game
we're gonna
Awards.
see him so soon. And if the Game Award, if we get another fucking Indiana Jones trailer before that game comes out, I'll sue.
Well, I would not be sorry. I did have that thought because the game Indiana Jones comes out 3 days before that. I guarantee you there's going to still
Lord.
be some like feature or special
There
on it.
is.
So
Ugh.
that's kind of what I was like too. Like I wonder what will be different at Game Awards to show in 3 months that we haven't seen already. And so maybe there's some big surprises still coming out to see, but I feel like we're pretty up to date on what's coming out.
If there's no Dishonored 4, I don't care.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us as we recapped the opening night live showcase of Gamescom 2024. Until next time, everybody, we'll be here playing the video games, talking about them with you. But until then, I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
Adios.
Peace out.